TP lane, and they banned out the export for safety because in the laning phase, the Bastion is going to be eating up a lot of damage from the export. It would have been really tough. So Falcons go for the close range all dive. No pokes at all. A huge gambit here, considering that the 1-1 is their biggest problem in the draft right now.
Oh man, I don't know. It's also a little hard to guess the Falcons lineup, honestly.
Yeah, what does... Okay, what does...
Solid frontliner, maybe a high loss or a Gaton.
Flap, flap, flap. Okay, okay.
And they're going Badang.
Oh,
Badang on the very last pick here for Falcons.
the Badang still shows up. Okay. Wait, if it was a 3-4 record, that's 7 out of 10 games today.
Yeah.
Make it 8.
Badang everywhere, all the time. It's your role.
Everywhere I go, I see his face.
Wait, Yawi.
Yowie!
Oh! Okay, okay. Okay, okay.
You mentioned the Franco earlier, Rockhard. I agreed with you.
We're gonna have a fun time here, brother.
The last time Yawi played in MPL Philippines Season 12, his very last game was a Franco that was, dare I say, received poorly by the community. This could be vindication for Yawi.
And vindication, it may be just here at the Champions Arena and just here where one of them are definitely gonna be ending it for Season 15.
We've been through so much, but just the same, these teams have been through a lot, and they definitely want to get past this do or die match. Whoever wins this is going up against Team Liquid Philippines tomorrow, but for now, this is what they have to go through.
Ladies and gentlemen, casters, let's finish this.
It's all down to this, the last and final game for day one of the playoffs here at the MPL Philippines Season 15. We're in the Champions Arena, and it's me, Naisu, Ingon, and Redmar, and we're here to bring you the last game between these two birds trying to fly high into the next stage. It's the Falcons and TNC Pro Team. I like that Redmar pointed out a little fun fact there about Yawi's Franco here. Are we thinking, Ingon, that this is the game changer? Is this the redemption arc for that Franco for Yawi?
Second time using the Franco for a decisive game for Yawi. And I think if Yawi channels his inner S12, S11, he can pull this off against a team like Falcon.
Literally pull this off. He's gonna have to pull off the right target, the right hook. But I think he's banking on that suppress. We already saw it earlier this season. Ingan with a reminder, thank you. Showed it up against Aurora earlier this season. Did not fare well.
Yeah.
Started off good in the early, but it crumbled very quickly against a hyper-aggressive dive-focused lineup. That is what Falcons has. So, again, that's the story for Yawi on this Franco. Vindication, redemption.
Yeah. And with Zaida being a utility jungler, you can actually see later on that Yawi can opt to go for a fleeting time as a second or third item, considering that they have a frontliner in Zaida.
Yep, jumping in mid lane.
Hook.
Ogwin fortunately was able to walk away with a slither of his health left, but if that aggression continues on for the Phoenix Army, TNC in 5 could be a real thing, Renmar.
Yeah, and it's a Baksha in the jungle up against a Hayabusa who will not be contesting objectives early on. Yawi already reading the invade, sees the Hayabusa, but will not be able to stop Kaltizi from stealing away the orange buff. Zaida gets the turtle without a problem. Will he get an invade of his own? Seems like he will not.
Okay. He's still gonna stay there though.
Lancy jumps in with a Crimson Beacon plus Lantern Flare, and the first blood drawn onto the Master. The aggression of the Phoenix Army, clearly momentum is on their side.
I'm actually surprised Ogwin put himself in that position knowing that he had burned the flicker and that he didn't have it. Yeah, you know, you could jump around maybe and whatnot, you're a Kalea, but still, you know, he gets taken out and that information was there. So I don't know, TNC really kind of locked in the early game, and I gotta give it up to Zaida, man. Zaida, I know we're looking at Yawi's stats here for the Franco like we were talking about, but I am impressed with Zaida because he is one of the junglers that now the back-to-back utility junglers, first the Fredrin, now going with the Baksha, and he can play the Assassins just as well. So great to see Zyda step into that role and make this happen in the series.
Yeah, that's the MDL Season 2 Finals MVP and regular season MVP for you.
Yeah, we already used a flicker to try and get that hook there onto Super Marco in lane. Zyda goes in.
Oh, paired up with the Iron Hook and the Bloody Hunt. They're going to kill Ogwin once again. Zaman Force already popped by Super Marco. He's trying to escape, but Lancey on the chase onto Few. Flapty's in the picture this time. Can they turn things around? No overcommit from TNC.
All right. Trade favorable for TNC Pro Team. It does look like it. They still have the aggression on the map, the tempo. Zyda still alive. Yeah, Falcons are going to have to weather a crazy storm here, and Super Marco has to play the game of his life. He is the main condition. Other than that, heroics from Flap and Few, the two legends in their squad, two-time world champions, brought then Bren Esports, then AP Bren, then Falcons AP Bren to so many new heights. Now can they bring Falcons out of a turbulent situation? It's going to be up to them.
Man, both of these teams being in the family of birds don't like turbulence, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Either or is going to have to deal with that. And you're still looking at relatively a very easy game, or even game-ish, I should say, between the two. The second turtle is up, and honestly, this one's going to be anyone's for the taking. It's Falcons that starts to blitz. They know he's at the buff.
Okay. But still, Kyle Teasy was able to steal away the turtle, but Zyda answers back with a kill onto Ogwin once again. 3 Martezi trying to soak up the damage. Will be able to walk away scot-free. No casualties for TNC. But still, Kyle Teasy gets a turtle.
Yeah, Ogwin's going to be on the receiving end of a lot of deaths in this game. Not going to be a lot of escape options for him. Once he goes in, he's going to be bitten, and TNC Pro Team will not hesitate to take the Kalea out of the picture right away. Now they're going to be focusing on the tower up top, defended well by Falcons, while Kaltizi opened up the map in the bottom lane, taking down that tower, but Kaltizi now in the red against 3 Mar and Zyda.
We shadow kill, cast it right on time. Will he be able to escape? There's a shadow, so he will escape the potential gag from TNC.
Yeah, there's a whole lot. Like, this game is definitely a game 5 because everything is happening everywhere. It feels that way, and it's really both teams just kind of utilizing the compositions that they have, the utility that, for example, the Louis E brings for Falcons, and over on the other side, not just playing around the hook, which we usually see when a Franco is there, but playing around the fact that Zyda can be very mobile himself, he can scout things out himself, and the big question for me is we don't see the CC pop up that often anymore, but it's still a really good pick, especially with this kind of lineup. I'm guessing for Falcons, they really got to be careful on how they go with those fights. If they dodge the hook all day, that's great. But if a CC paired with the Jushin jump into your team and force that fight, and then Benny Cutie's allowed to pop off again with the crossbow of Tang, I feel like that's going to be pretty scary for them to deal with.
Conceal play there for Falcon to make sure Super Marco has enough space to try and deal damage to this turret, though, as Benny Cutie just taking his time, trying to be as disciplined as possible. Diversion going to be forced out here onto the middle lane to clear out the minions.
Okay, Kyle. Just visiting down. This is the thing, though. You know, we've seen this time and time again with the heroes like the Chip, like that Louis Yi, that bring those options to go and play on a macro level. Last turtle of the game is going to be up, and it's Falcons that just makes the line for it. They're going to go ahead and start it up. Kyle TZ making his way, has these buffs, but just the same, TNC I think wants to go ahead and just contest this one. They don't want to give this up for free. Everyone is going to be around this last and third turtle.
Oh!
Whoa!
Yowie! What? Clutch Iron Hook! And now Falcon forced to fight it out. A weak shadow kill. The punish is there, though, as Lancy 3 Martezi is going to fall down, but a killing spree coming in from Zyda. And another one from Yowie!
The redemption!
2 hooks to keep their hopes alive. First it was Marco, now it was Few. Heroics from Few and Flap to turn that initial pickoff around. But it's Yowie, hell-bent.
Hell-bent? I mean, what? Yeah, let's get a replay at those hooks, hopefully. I'm not sure who's going to get that turtle. Maybe it's Falcons, but it looks like it was Kyle Teasy that got it. That's the first hook that we're looking at. Let's take a look at the other one here. Yeah, this was a good fight, but man, here's the next one. Yowie gets in position, Lands the hook, flickers as well. And man, what a play there. But still, objective and lead for Falcons right now at the 8-minute mark. So we'll see. You know, TNC, they can play around the hooks like we were mentioning.
Yeah.
But they also need to continue to go ahead and win those objective fights, especially the next one that's going to be coming up in a minute and a half.
Yeah. And considering the fact that Yawi already has a Rapid Boots and a Winter Crown, they can be as aggressive as possible. Okay, diversion play. They're going to send out 3 in the middle lane. Going to put enough pressure to force a reaction from TNC.
All right. Still a lead here for Falcons in terms of the resources. Teams are getting the counters, the pickoffs, but Falcons are getting the wins in terms of the gold, the pushes, the towers, the kills at the right time. TNC's ability to instantly convert is going to be there. It boils down to the execution. Who gets a bigger trade, the better trade.
Oh, commits a Wiki Shadow kill onto 3 more and to Lancy.
Wow.
But fails to deliver a kill. They were able to share out the damage.
Yeah, that's good damage. That's good damage profile already from Kyle.
Oh, good pickup here from Lancy, but Ogwin counters that with a title strike, a pickup kill for Benacuti. Another hook and Bloody Hunt from Yawi. A killing spree coming in from Kyle TZ. Super Force Diamond for Zaida. Might be in trouble here. Flap TZ with a shutdown. Benacuti not even done though. A mega kill for the Storm.
They're going to have to back off there on that one.
Yeah, massive win there for TNC Pro Team. Benacuti capping off that 3rd kill onto Flatman. That TNC would win that sequence. KTZ another shadow kill in the middle so that Yawi and 3 Martizi cannot defend their tower, and Falcons breaks it. The map is looking blue. TNC again, they're getting kills, they're trading, but the objectives are going to the side of Falcons. Both teams are winning in their own way.
They are, because even with Benny, again, he's 4-0-3. He's doing well on the 1-1. And we know, yeah, they're losing those skirmishes in the mid lane like that, but if it comes down to it, this objective take, this Lord, if Benny's able to get the airtime he needs, if they're able to go ahead and deal with that pressure that's coming from Falcons, TNC can easily still win this objective fight. But it all comes down to what they do with the Franco, for example, with Lancy on this Jushin. And even for Falcons, you saw that a Winter Crown now available for Flap TZ, so they can all play around some of these minor choices that they have. Super Marco gets a Holy Crystal. Power Spike now here as he's got those 3 items on the Harith. We'll see how they play this out. Falcons will go ahead and start it up pretty quickly. How does TNC respond?
Okay. Falcons has their eyes on this Lord. Kyle TZ, clean pickup of the Lord, and now they want to go for more Wing Shadow Kill. Literally committed down. Lancy forces here comes the Beacon, but takes down 2. Yawi, 3 more down, but a counter go for TNC. Winter Crown play from Flap TZ. Kyle TZ goes in right after Benny. Will he be able to escape though? I think he will, but Few says no.
Diversion used.
Marco! Oh, he sees Lancy! He caps off the kill, and 4 are down! 4 are down from the side of TNC!
Oh, and they're going to be pushing it now. Bottom is pushed with Kyle and the Lord, and Falcons will go for the tier 2 in the mid. TNC still in the game, but man, what a turn and a huge spike in gold and everything else for Falcons.
We need an instant replay for that because the counter go from Team Falcons was on point. Whoa, I mean, the burst, the burst on the Lord, and at the same time, the clapback, they were able to prevent Benacuti from wreaking much more havoc after picking up 2 kills. So Team Falcons, they're holding on to a 6K gold lead.
It might be flying under the radar for some, but the game that Few is playing right now. We talked about vindication and redemption for Yawi, but what about for Few, who failed to get MSC in 2024? The iconic image of him sitting in the backstage, in his knees, crying after losing in that Game 7 against Selangor Red Giants. Now he's playing the game of his life on this low Yi to keep Falcons' hopes of making it back to Riyadh for MSC at EWC 25 a reality.
And even with that, again, this is Falcons, right? Of course, they want to go forward, get to Riyadh, and this is where it starts. I'm not sure if people thought that we would see another 5-game series. I knew this was going to be one hell of a series between these 2 teams because TNC has definitely improved in those weeks off leading into the playoffs. They already surprised so many people throughout the regular season. How do they respond to this little diversion. We'll see if they actually continue on this. They don't really have an objective to go for a bit. Lancey might be able to spot them out, but that's a full team!
Oh! And the onslaught from Falcons just catching TNC off guard. A crucial kill onto Lancey.
Yaoi's not going to be able to get that hook. Lancey gets taken out. They were just doing their due diligence, clearing up in minion waves, checking, but Falcons have taken them by surprise. They were there first. 7,000 is the gold lead.
Ooh.
The hope for the Phoenix seems to be dying before their eyes.
Falcon now sieging in onto the top lane as they take an inhibitor. Owen jumps in, catches Yaoi, forces out the flicker. Zaman Force coming in from Super. Marco, Kyle Teasy, and the rest of Team Falcons has to walk back. TNC, Zaida leading the charge. Will they make a play here? But Falcons, Team Falcons, they got what they wanted.
They got what they wanted. They took the discipline route. They get the one base turret. They know they've dealt with some of the shields, but now the Lord is up. And they're ready to fight this. They got a good lead, 7.6K up. They know this Lord is theirs, so they get prepped and ready to possibly march into a victory win. TNC down this much, facing elimination from the playoffs. How can they make this work for them? What do they need to happen in this base defense here?
All right, with an 8,500 gold lead, around that value for Falcons, TNC Pro Team are lacking in some key items across the board. Benny Cutie is built up, yes, but can the front line hold on long enough and deplete them enough for Benny Cutie to clean up house? But Falcons, with this lead, are in the situation that we've said so many times all throughout the season. We've said multiple times today alone. They can just throw bodies. Focus on the base. They have the damage. A suppress from Yaoi might be the X factor here.
There's the conceal. They want that turret. They know the Lord is up top.
Oh! Yaoi catches Flap TNC, but there was a Winter Crown. Ogun jumps in as well. TNC trying to work on the Lord as Falcons working on the mid lane. The last inhibitor turret, Kyle TNC jumps in just to zone out TNC, and TNC will survive for now.
Okay, another wave pushing in the mid lane. They might want to get this turret, but still a good defense for TNC. They successfully stay in the game. And maybe that hook was enough to get that Winter Crown out and then live to fight another day. So Falcons, despite being massively ahead right now, TNC buys some more time.
All right, looking at the items here. Lead for TNC CC, massive deficit here for Zaida in terms of the gold, but at this point, he's just another tank. He has to hold on and survive long enough. The damage output, that's where it's gonna lie for TNC. A Winter Crown plus a Blood Wings for Lancey. Very utility-based build. The damage might be lacking, might not be enough to set up Benny Cutie for success, who, however, is already full build. Even up to a Malefic gun.
Out of the map, diversion play! Catching TNC off guard, Ogwin jumps in, catches Yaoi. Benny Cutie though, able to free hit. Lancey with a Crimson Beacon, they're gonna bring down Yaoi. Next man is Zaida. Kyle Teasy picks up one more, they're trying to go for Lancey! 3-man down for TNC.
Is this it? Is this the moment for Falcons to cap it off here, to clip the wings of the Phoenix?
Benny Cutie eliminated, and the hope for redemption lives on for Team Falcons!
And the battle of the skies is